Welcome to the Obsessive Maker podcast. My name is Sian and I am obsessed with making all the things. So join me as I share my love of sewing and knitting, and I try my hand at other creative pursuits. I've just been for my morning walk, and today I'm actually on a bit of a mission to get the house sorted because it's a bit of a tip. It's the Monday public holiday for New Year's Day. My husband's gone off to work and we've had a really lovely lazy few days, which means that we've left the house in quite a state because we haven't really done much at all. So I am going to be cleaning and tidying, but while I'm at it, I have a few things to show you today, and I think it might be a podcast day. So I'm going to get to it. I've got to take the Christmas tree down, pack away the decorations. I've got to hoover the living room, clean the kitchen. I've got lots of ironing to do, which is currently in a pile at my feet after doing all of the laundry over the last few really hot days. And we have actually, I think, reached the start of the hottest time of the year. The last few days have been about 37, 38 degrees, excruciating. So we've just kind of it's been too hot to go to the beach or do much outside without turning to bacon. So we have just been hiding inside in the air conditioning. So, yes, it's a bit cooler today. So I'm going to get a few things done before I have to head to work tomorrow. Let's get to it. Hello again. Well, it has been a very productive morning. I have packed up and put away all the Christmas decorations and the Christmas tree. I have hoovered the living room, done some cleaning in the kitchen. I have actually even washed and blocked a couple of my knits from last year that desperately needed washing and blocking. One of them I hadn't actually blocked, so they are laying out in the sunshine as we speak. And yeah, my husband's home from work. We just did a little bit of house hunting online, and now it's like lunchtime and I'm finally getting around to talking to you. And I wanted to give you a little tour of my wardrobe, my me-made wardrobe. So we are standing in the walk-in wardrobe from our bedroom. So yes, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to talk you through what I've got, what I've made over the last 5-ish years of sewing. I also have all my knitwear in here, and I will just forewarn you, it's a little bit of a mess because I had to actually store my overflow of yarn stash in the bottom of my walk-in wardrobe. So yeah, you'll see it all in a second. I also need to say that I am not getting glam for today's podcast. I'm still in my workout / cleaning the house gear. I'm covered in gross stuff, dust and sweat. So this is as glamorous as it's going to get. But yeah, so I actually did also want to say that for this year, I kind of want to be a little bit more selective about what I make and fill some gaps in my wardrobe. It's, as I'm sure you've all experienced the last couple of years with COVID and working from home or whatever situation you have, like I'm sure you've also felt the same. You've actually not got a lot of wear out of what you've got in your wardrobe, and what we need has changed. So yeah, I do not have the need for any kind of office attire, even though I will be going back into the office when we're allowed to. They're fairly kind of casual as long as you're smart and you're not wearing like jeans all the time or sandals, you know, it's fine. So yeah, I kind of want to fill some gaps, and I want to make some nice things as well. I've had my eye on a few patterns, but I'll get to that later. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you my wardrobe. Here we have my side of the walk-in wardrobe. And I have, over the last 5 years of sewing, I've actually replaced a lot of my ready-to-wear clothing with clothing that I've made myself. So a lot of what you see here, unless it's outerwear or jeans, a lot of what you see here I've actually made myself. So I'm going to start with the jackets and coats. Well, they're kind of more like jackets. Any coats I own tend to be the puffer kind, and from Kathmandu. So yeah, so here we go. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try and zoom out a little bit. There we go. That's better. So I have the lining of a country road jacket here, and over the last couple of years, everything's falling down. Over the last couple of years, I've actually acquired a couple of really nice silk kimonos that I have intended to convert into more wearable clothing, but I just haven't got around to it. So this one is, I mean, it was a shorter one of the, I think the men's ones, I've forgotten what they're called, but I literally just kind of cut the sleeve so that it wasn't as long and floppy. Okay, and then we have some jackets that I've made. This was a seam work jacket. I dyed some white cotton drill and turned it into a chore jacket. And that is not one I've made, but that's just a Uniqlo standard denim jacket. Another denim jacket that I have made, the pattern was named Clothing, and I used some old jeans to turn it into a jacket. This one is probably my proudest make of all. This is some Marimekko fabric that I turned into a quilted jacket, and I did my first ever welt pockets on it. I quilted it myself. It took forever. I think it took about 50 plus hours of sewing. But yeah, it's probably my most worn make. It's the pattern is the Tamarack jacket by Grainline Clothing, and Grainline do some great patterns, but I have to say they have not been size inclusive for many years. They keep saying they're going to convert their old patterns, but they're taking too long. I have several of their old patterns that I just don't fit into the size range, so I'm quite disappointed with that. Anyway, that's all I'll say. I won't be buying their patterns again. This is another jacket I made. It's a Simplicity trench coat that I have never worn. It was just a matter of wrong fabric for the pattern. It's a bit too stretchy, a bit too drapey. Also, it was probably one of the first big four patterns that I made. So yeah, it just didn't work out that well. Here is you will recognize this probably if you recently seen any of my makes. This is the denim jacket I made fairly recently. God, I'm sorry, the lighting in here is terrible. This is really good. I've worn this quite a lot. So yeah, so that's quite a few me made so far. This is just a cool sweatshirt I got in Japan. A beach cover up I bought from like Rip Curl or something. And then this is a jumpsuit, this lilac cornflower blue tiger jumpsuit that I got from New Works in the US that I've never worn because it was a little bit too small, but I can't bear to part with it. And then this is a jumpsuit that I've made. This is the Paper Theory Zadie jumpsuit. It's a fabulous pattern. It's such a good pattern that you can hack it into anything. Pants, top, dress. Yeah, it's really good. I need to wear this more. It's a little bit out there, so I do kind of get a lot of looks when I wear it. But, you know, I think they're just envious looks. And named Clothing. This is from their Breaking the Pattern. You can't really tell what it is. It's just a dress made out of it, like a fleecy backed jersey. This is inside out. It's actually a double gauze Charlie caftan by Closet Core Patterns. So I made that. I didn't make this. This is just a basic blue wrap dress. I didn't make this either. I did make this though. So this is the dress I made for Frocktails. You can't really tell by the color in this video because the lighting's terrible, but also the fabric has a beautiful sheen. It's a tencel Cupro, and it's in like a foresty emerald green. It's a beautiful evening wear dress that I got one wear out of for Frocktails, and then we went into COVID and it never got another outing, but one day it will. So this one is a quilting cotton McCall's, the famous one with the big poofy sleeves and the wrap front. I can't remember what number it is, but I wear that on really hot days just around the house. It's a good house dress. And that's not me made. So this one is a Zadie jumpsuit hack. So this is just a wrap dress. So all I did with this is I used some rayon and I used the top pieces of the Zadie jumpsuit pattern, whacked on a couple of rectangles for the skirt back and fronts and some ties, and then you have a wrap dress. Then I have a few skirts like this, just really simple A-line kind of floaty rayon skirts. That's just a linen cotton dress I made a few years ago from a seamwork pattern. This has to be one of my favorite house dresses, and it is quite rumpled, but it's the zero waist dress. And I made it out of this lovely sashiko cotton that I got from Japan, and I've been meaning to make myself another one ever since. So I used up scraps to kind of create a little kind of label at the back, but also I pieced together, you can't really tell because I did it so well. I pieced together the pocket, and it's a lovely cool dress. I really need more of these. I do. I just need the time to make them. So I have a few more ready to wear. So that's a ready to wear Marimekko Uniqlo collaboration. This is a caftan that is on my grid fairly recently. It's one that took me like 3 years to finish, just because I put it in the whip pile when I got uninspired and never got back to it. A lot of the things that are inside out are things that I've kind of worn fairly recently and just hung up to wear again. So this is a really cool pink leopard print fabric top. It's a really great simple shirt. I can't remember the name of the pattern. It'll be on my grid though if you're interested, but it's so wearable in summer just with a pair of jeans or a pair of shorts. It's floaty, it's voluminous, it's nice and cool. Yeah, there we go. This is a really fun, I call this like my Hawaiian shirt, but this is a Caroline pajama top in a cotton voile, however you say it, from Spotlight. And it's great fun to wear on holiday. And then I just have some basic things like some flannels from Target, a really cool t-shirt from Indigo Proof in the US. Isn't that awesome? Skeleton riding the Singer sewing machine. And then some dungarees from Lucy and Yak, which I need to actually alter because they're like 10 centimeters too long for me. So it's too hot to wear them right now. So I'll do that in winter. We're getting to the end, I swear. It's quite a long one. That is a packed wrap top from that McCall's pattern. Is it McCall's? From this one? Same pattern, just a top version, like a crop top. Nope, wrong one. I have a lot of blue in my wardrobe. There we go. Just a crop top version. Just, I was going to see how it worked, so I just used some stash fabric and stash bias binding. And then we have a skirt that I've barely worn. It's a beautiful tencel fabric, but I just chose the wrong pattern for it. This is the gypsum skirt, and it's the one that has the really big, I'll insert a photo, but it has a really big side pockets, and they just don't work well with this fabric. And in my size, it just kind of feels really awkward. Anywho, I'll turn it into something nice at some point. And then this is one of my favorite tops, and it's a silk crepe de chine in licorice all sorts print. It's so comfortable, and it's a pattern that I never thought I would like. It's the Megan Nielsen Sudley top. Here we go. Sudley top and dress. And I honestly thought it was the frumpiest pattern ever, but I'm so glad I bought it because it's such a good top. And I again have been meaning to make a dress version of it for a while, but again I haven't got around to it. But it's just so floaty in the silk. Oh, love it. Anywho, moving on. So you can't really tell, this is a really nice crinkle, lilac-y pink crinkle linen, and I just made a box top, a simple box top. I had to piece it together because I just had a remnant of, I think, a meter, and then I cut myself off. I accidentally hit something on my phone. Anyway, so then this is the dress that I recently made for my end of year function for work. It doesn't look like much now in this light, but it is really flattering. It's a really nice shape. I did some shearing on the sleeves. It's nice and long. It kind of feels like that 90s dress that we all wore with like chunky boots, like black boots. And yeah, obviously the floral kind of gives me that feeling as well. But yeah, it's really nice. I might make this dress again in a linen or a cotton. I have plenty of all of that in my stash. And this shearing panel at the back, which is the back waist, makes it really comfortable. This does make it a little bit poofy though, so maybe I will shorten that back section just a little bit to bring it up. I don't know, we'll see. But yes, this is lovely, and I will wear this a lot, I think, for kind of dressed up casual, smart casual occasions. So yeah, and then we have the Miller trousers in a lovely linen, viscose linen slub texture fabric. It was a really good weight for trousers actually, and with the viscose in it, or the rayon, whatever, it doesn't actually crumple as easily, but it has that linen effect. And that's a pair of linen pants, culottes I made, which I haven't never worn. And then I've just got some basic things. So this skirt, bear with me. Okay, I was trying to show you this skirt. God, the lighting is terrible. I do apologize. So this was actually a dress previously. It was the Cali dress by Closet Core Patterns. I wasn't getting as much wear out of the dress. It was a bit too short, so what I ended up doing is turning it into a skirt. So this pocket here was actually the breast pocket. So I literally cut it off. I think the collar was like here. And yeah, I just kind of came up from the side seams of the skirt and went straight up and cut off like the little sleeves, the grown-on sleeves, and cut it straight across, added the waistband, and now I have a cool skirt, cool button-down skirt with a cute little like waist pocket at the front. So yeah, oops. This is just a Gorman skirt that I got a ton of wear out of. It's just elasticated waist, so easy to wear. And then, oh, I have more. Okay, so this was just an experiment, a tiered skirt in some cotton linen I had in the cupboard. This was an A-line skirt that I made from, again, a remnant of some awesome hot pink jacquard from the fabric store. I've never worn that skirt. It's too short for me, but I had fun making it. That's the main thing. And then ready to wear. This is not ready to wear. Again, I tried another one. Oop, it's backwards. Tried another one of the big four patterns. This is a Liberty Tanner Lawn that I actually got for free when I ordered some fabric from Showercat Fabrics in London. And I thought I'd have a go at making this cute little sleeper style top. So it's cute, but the pattern drafting is not drafted for my shape. So the armholes I found were really shallow and I were really comfortable. So I tried to make them deeper, but there was only so deep I could go with. Yeah, after it's already been made, it's kind of hard to adjust. I may still convert this into something else at some point because it's such a beautiful fabric. I initially didn't like it at all. I didn't like the print. But when I'm wearing it, it's actually quite nice. It suits me really well. Anyway, so this is not a success, but it's something I will come back to and fix. Speaking of unsuccessful makes, again, it's backwards. Whoops. This is the Tudor blouse that I recently made, and I think I posted a story, but I haven't actually put anything on my grid because it doesn't fit me very well. I thought I might come back to it again at some point. Yeah, the fabric's lovely. It's a lovely batik fabric from Indonesia, I think. My mother-in-law gave it to me, and I have so much batik, and I love batik. So I kind of wanted to make a cute top. We're coming to the end. And this is the last piece actually in my sewn wardrobe. This is a really cute shirt. You can't really tell, but this was a tablecloth that my grandmother left me, and I turned it into a shirt. It needs an iron. You see buttonholes. I used some vintage buttons as well. So the whole thing is vintage, basically. I have given it new life, and it's a zero waste style top. So it's literally just a box shirt, and I've used up everything I could to create it. I think I only had a teeny tiny scrap. So I guess it's not really zero waste, but it was literally just the scraps left over from creating the curves for the collar. But yeah, I love that. I should wear it more often. It looks great with a pair of jeans. Would look awesome with some shorts as well. So yeah, so the rest of my wardrobe is just like ready to wear in terms of that stuff. Everything else is just like t-shirts I have made. So this is a pair of culottes and a t-shirt that I've made. I made this t-shirt. I made the t-shirt I'm wearing actually, but stupidly I somehow cut a hole in it. Yeah, I didn't make any of those. They're just like thermals and ready to wear jumpers from Uniqlo. Oh, I did make that actually. That's a Nina turtleneck jumper. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The rest is, I'm going to turn you around. Sorry, getting rather hot in here. There we go. Better light. So the rest is all my knitted stuff, which you've already seen. And I'll do a recap of that at some point. But that's kind of my me-made wardrobe. I was a little bit generous before when I said it was probably 60-70% me made. I was probably just referring to the stuff that's hanging up rather than everything I wear. So like basics like t-shirts and jeans I haven't made myself, really. I've made a few, but I really don't enjoy making t-shirts, and I'm not confident making jeans yet, and it's such a big project that I don't want to spend weeks making a pair of jeans only to be disappointed when they don't fit me how I want. So I've kind of started on a pair before and they just weren't going very well. So I think I just need to be a little bit more comfortable and confident in my body before I start making some jeans. So yeah, I have a ton of yarn in the bottom of my wardrobe. And I'm going to dig some of it out now because I'm going to talk you through my plans for 2022. Okay, I am all organized. I've got the yarns and bits and pieces around me that I want to share with you now. So I actually wanted to talk about my plans for 2022, and I know that in my recent Instagram post I said I wasn't going to make any plans, but best of intentions. But there are some things that I do want to make. I do love making plans. My problem is I do tend not to stick to them. So I'm not making any concrete plans or promises, but I am going to share some things that I want to make for this year. As I said, I wanted to fill some gaps in my wardrobe in terms of sewing, and I will say a lot of what I want to knit is not actually going to fill any gaps. They're just things that I want to make. We don't have really cold weather here in Melbourne. Sorry if you can hear the planes going overhead. But yeah, we do have cold weather, but it's not super cold, so I don't actually have a need for any more knitwear, really. I mean, what I knitted last year is more than enough, but I have an amazing stash that I want to use up, and it's more for the joy of it, really. So I'll actually start with the sewing stuff because looking through my wardrobe, as I just showed you now, I do have some gaps. I'm in dire need of trousers, of pants, bottoms. I have skirts, but I have one pair of jeans that fits me. I used to buy all of my jeans at Target because they were stretchy and cheap, and I mean, they weren't the best. They'd last maybe a year, which is terrible in terms of, you know, ethical clothing and longevity and quality. But yeah, so I recently bought a pair from, I think, Everlane, and they fit quite well, and I think they'll last a lot longer. So I'm trying them out. I'm trialing them. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they last a while. So they're going to be my jeans for the year, unless of course I put on or lose weight. So yeah, but I do need pants and trousers. So I have plans to make some Winslow culottes, and that pattern is by, I've just gone completely blank, but I'll show it here anyway, or here, either side of me. But the Winslow culottes I think will fill a big gap because they are pants, but they also look like a little bit like a skirt. They'll be smart depending on what fabric I make them from. But I have at least 3 types of fabric in my stash currently that I can make the culottes from. So I think I'll have all areas covered. I also want to make another pair of the Miller trousers. The purple ones I showed you in the wardrobe, they are a really good pattern. They are a smart trouser with a couple of pleats at the front. They are comfortable, elastic waist, perfect for what I need. Ideally, I would make some jeans, but as I just said, it's not going to happen until I am confident and comfortable to do so. I do also need, I think, some smart tops, like shirts, like button-down shirts. And the last one I made was the Olya shirt by Paper Theory. It's a great shirt pattern, but I'm not sure I will make it again for a while, only because it's not the shape and style that I'm looking for. Papercut Patterns recently released a new shirt and dress pattern. It is super cute. It is a standard, almost like a standard shirt to the waist, and then it also has big puffy sleeves, have like a frill, and you can do a cropped version. I'll find a photo and put it in here as well so you can see it, but you can do a little cropped version with a little ruffle along the waist, and I think that will be really cute. Also the dress version is lovely, and I do want to make a linen version of that. Not that I need any more dresses, but you know, anything to kind of, you know, enjoy making them. So I'm reaching over because I've got my iPad with me to kind of prompt me about what I want to talk about in terms of knitting. So sewing, what else is it that I want to make? Here is my little creative crafty journal. I think I've shown this to you before. I kind of sketch all my ideas about what I want to make. And things that I've tried out, like for example, I tried a dress pattern recently, the Q dress by Nina Lee London. It was not for me, but then I made that style arc bell dress, the one I showed you in my wardrobe, the blue one, and it was on point. So, you know, you kind of got to try things and see how they work out. And then that was that Hope dress, the gingham one that you saw in a previous podcast. So as you can see, I like to sketch, draw things out. So they are the Winslow culottes that I want to make. Anyway, I digress. I do have a few kind of flowy dress / tops I want to make. I think on one of my Vlogmas episodes I showed that I'd laid out the pattern pieces for the Vali top, or the Vali dress, on some lovely ikat fabric that I have. I'm halfway through making that top. I think it would be really nice to wear that with some jeans or shorts. It wouldn't necessarily go with anything else in my wardrobe, but I've had that fabric in my stash for a long time, and I've been trying to find the right pattern to use it with, and I think this is the right one. So, you know, needs and wants, I'm always trying to balance those out. Wants always win over needs, which is why I've got such a gap for trousers in my wardrobe. So I think that's pretty much it. That's kind of all I want to make at the moment. I've had plenty of ideas. Like, I still want to make a couple of jackets, but it's too hot right now to do those. There's a linen blazer I want to make as well, but you know, if I end up making it, you'll hear about it in a future podcast. So that's kind of the gaps in my sewing wardrobe. Pants and like shirt type tops that I can wear to work or for more kind of smart occasions. I have a lot of colourful, outrageous, fun stuff already. So yeah, but let's talk about knitting. So as you know, and will have seen if you've watched my previous episodes on my yarn hauls, I have so much yarn already. I've been knitting for like a year, properly for a year, and clearly I've picked up the additional hobby of accumulating yarn. Stash enhancement. So I would really like this year to use some of what I've already accumulated without further adding more to my stash. So my goal is to use up at least four sweater quantities of yarn that I already have. Now, some of these are not like full sweater quantities. They are either like the yarn or the mohair that accompanies the yarn. So I'm going to start with what's in my Ravelry queue. Now, I've got it here on my tablet next to me. I've got a few things on there. They're not necessarily in the order that I will make them. As I said, my plans tend to change. But the first thing at the top of the list is the Euphoria sweater by Popknit. And if you have seen any of Popknit, I think her name's Katya, any of her designs, she makes the most beautiful, colorful knits with some lovely textures and shapes. And her Euphoria sweater is a big kind of voluminous deep V-neck with a textured stitch pattern, which looks really cute. And she made hers out of a multicolored fingering and mohair held together. And last year you may have seen that I acquired this lovely yarn from What Mustard Made. I got it from, which way? There we go. I got it from Little Woolly Makes, and it's a beautiful multicolored yarn. And I really want to use this to make the Euphoria sweater. And I think it will go well with my skin tone. It's got so many colors in it, it should work. So yes, I have some undyed silk mohair to go with this, which I think will look beautiful. It will just kind of tone down the rainbow hues of this yarn a little bit. So it'll make it a little softer and less kind of like unicorn vomit. But yeah, I love this anyway. So that's what I want to make, the Euphoria sweater. I had planned to kind of make it at the beginning of this year as like a summer knit, but I still am working on my 2 colorwork jumpers. So the Illuminate and the Ghost Horses, which I've kind of set aside for now. And also I'm working on my husband's Mithril vest. So I really want to get those finished first before I start something new. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many whips. So yeah, so I will get to that eventually, I think, but I think that'll be a fun knit. Like when you knit with some crazy yarns, it's kind of just makes a challenging project a little bit more exciting, don't you think? So speaking of exciting yarns, I have this beautiful mermaid silk mohair. Let me just position this so you can see both the name and the content of the yarn when I show you. I have shown you in my yarn haul video, I think, but it's this lovely silk mohair. And I want to make a simple sweater, so I'm thinking of making the My Favorite Things Knitwear sweater number 9. It's the it's the raglan one. Yeah, it's the raglan one, and I have 3 skeins of this, which is enough to make that, so that's good. So I want to make that. I think I'm still undecided, but the thing I'm struggling with is finding the right tone of blue as a base yarn for this. It's such a mix. Like I really want to go for like a light blue, a dove blue perhaps. I don't want to pair it with a white or an undyed base just because I think it will detract too much from the yarn. So I'm looking at lots of different yarns at the moment. So I'm thinking about using Cascade 220, the Peruvian Highland wool, not the superwash, but I'm a little unsure of what it would feel like. The only other Cascade yarn I've used before was the one for my dad's zipper sweater, and I didn't like that. I really didn't like working with that, but it was a chunkier yarn. It was the Eco Plus, excuse me, it was the Eco Plus one. So I don't want to buy a sweater quantity of it online only to not like it when it turns up, or find that it's actually not the right shade of blue. They have such a huge range of colors that I think it would be great to use that. I might get the closest match, but again, I'm just a bit uncertain. The other yarn I was thinking of using, which is more expensive, was the Sandnesgarn Double Sunday in the pale blue color. But I did my maths last night and it's going to work out to be like $130 to get the sweater quantities worth of the base yarn in the Double Sunday. And that's just a bit too much for me. So I might look at some others. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. So yeah, I'm thinking of making the sweater number 9, which means I need a DK or a worsted base yarn, and I was thinking of Cascade 220. So yeah. So speaking of sweater number 9, I am also tempted to make that in this silk mohair, and this is that lovely emerald green kind of combination. Let's see. Yeah. And this one, I actually want to treat myself to some yarn that Caroline's Knits mentioned in one of her recent podcasts where she did her kind of yarn haul from her trip home. And she was gifted some, oh gosh, what's it called? Hang on a second. She went to Pure Pope. But she was also gifted some yarn by her grandmother. And the yarn I'm thinking of getting is the Hjelholt craft yarn. And I'm going to say what it's actually called in the original language. And I think it's the handvakersgarn. Sorry if I mushed that up. But they have a beautiful dark green that I think would go beautifully with it. And I'm going to post a picture here so you can see, and hold this up as well at the same time. So I'm hoping that they go well together. So I might treat myself to another stash position and get some of that to go with this. Otherwise, it's probably going to be Cascade 220 again, or something else. But there is actually, I was having another look. New Zealand is a great source of yarn as well. I haven't actually checked out Bendigo Woolen Mills yet for a base yarn for this, but there's a website called Skeins with a Z at the end instead of an S, and they're a New Zealand online shop and they sell a big selection of New Zealand yarn, and there is one there. I think it's a Perrindale DK, and it's actually really good value, so I'm thinking of that one as well. So yeah, as you see, I have my love of mohair has kind of got me in a little bit of a pickle because I'm struggling to find the right base yarn. So moving on to the third thing that I want to make out of beautiful mohair and it is, the mohair I want to use is this Louis and Lola Rock Pool colorway, and this is it in its skein, and this is it kind of caked up. So they're kind of like ocean earthy tones, cool and warm colors, and I think a grey, a light grey, or again like a dusty blue would work beautifully with this. And I was actually thinking of making, I've only got 2 skeins, so I'm thinking I might try and make the Petite Knit Stockholm slipover in the V-neck version. I've been wanting to make some slipovers. They're more transitional, probably better really for Melbourne. If you want to wear a jacket or a coat, it's probably better to wear a slipover over a t-shirt or something. And Nancy from Nancy, Unpick a Queen. Sorry, I forgot your Instagram handle. Nancy has been making loads of slipovers, and I've had slipover envy, knitting envy, so I kind of do want to make a couple. So I'm really interested in making the Stockholm slipover V-neck version, and also, just got to double check, the weekend slipover in the V-neck version. So yeah, so I was torn. I was like, oh, maybe I should make the weekend one. It's a little bit bulkier. You use, I think, a worsted weight and mohair together. But I do kind of want to work on something. Anything I start soon will have to be on large needles, because everything else I'm working on is on small needles because it's color work. So yeah, I kind of want a little bit of a break from the color work, and I want chunky needles so I can finish it really quickly. So yeah, which brings me around to the final thing I want to share with you. I would love to make the Badger and Bloom sweater by Anna Ventzel. You've probably seen it on the gram. Everyone's making it. It's gorgeous, and I thought that I could use some of my Knitwear yarn to make that sweater, but it's a color work again, so I have a bit of a problem. So, but I have my Knitwear yarn here, and the color combo that I was thinking of using is, I really want to use up some of the Knit colorway, which is this one. And this is the one that I got like, I think I got 2 sweater quantities worth. So I would really love to pair this with one of the other colors I got, but I'm not sure which ones. So the Badger and Bloom can be made in either 2 colors or I think 5 colors. I don't want to do 5 colors. I just want to keep it simple. So I kind of want I guess a monochrome version, but I'm thinking, shall I use these 2? So this is the Pupelin colorway, and it's kind of like a turquoisey greeny gray. So I could use these 2 together, or I could use Val. So it's a lovely kind of cobalt blue, and the Knit is a greeny blue grey, but I'm not sure which ones go better together. I think these 2 would be a really good stark difference. So really good kind of distinctive color difference between the color work. But I think these 2 go better together. What do you think? These 2? So Pupelin and Knit, or Val and Knit? So yeah, put a comment below and let me know. I won't be starting it for a while. I have been tempted to start straight away, but no, I've got enough color work on my plate. So yeah, so that's what I want to make for this year. So I'm sure other things will come up, but I already have these things in my stash. I would really dearly love to use them. Excuse me, inhaling mohair again for the first time in months. So yes, I would really dearly love to make them and use up these yarns. But I do just need to find some base yarns to go with these. And this, I think this will be easier though. I honestly think a light grey will go beautifully with that. Or maybe just white. We'll see. I'll get there in the end. So now we come to the final portion of today's podcast, and that's finished objects. And you may have seen that I've been knitting some socks recently. I had, well, prior to New Year, I had actually finished my first pair of little boxes socks. There we go. They are a cute color work sock pattern. Honestly, the color work is the only way I was going to start knitting socks, because I found the toe and heel. I'd never done a toe and heel before, but now I've done them on a pair of socks and on a second pair of socks, so I'm feeling a lot more comfortable doing it. So this pair here, I actually didn't read the pattern properly. And I knitted them on the wrong size needles, so they are too big. But you know, it's a learning curve. I can still wear them, just not with shoes. They'll be like house socks or bed socks. But it gave me a feel for what it takes to knit a sock. I've probably said previously, I'm not going to be a sock knitter. I don't enjoy knitting socks. I've tried them several times, blah, blah, blah. I might be converted. We'll see. I've got to try a plain vanilla sock and see how I feel about that. So yeah, we'll see. Watch this space. So they are my first pair. I actually started a second pair I think on Boxing Day, and I'd hoped to get them finished by the end of the year, but I got this pair finished on the 2nd of January, yesterday. So I literally finished the last heel on the last sock yesterday, and I washed and blocked them, and they turned out beautifully. I actually lengthened the ankle because I didn't like the super short ankle on the previous pair, and I can actually wear these with a pair of boots or trainers. Again, I didn't read the pattern properly, but this time it wasn't such a big deal. I actually used the right needle size, but the thing I didn't do was the pattern calls for 4 rows of knitting around the heel when you pick up the stitches here, 4 rows, but I only did 1. And it hasn't really affected the fit at all for me. So yeah, it's fine. I would like to try a different heel though. So I bought Inga from Knitting Traditions sock pattern, the Morse Hell sock pattern, and I will be trying that shortly. Not too soon. I think I'm done with socks at least for a couple of weeks. so we'll see. But yeah, I'd like to try a different way of turning a heel. The afterthought or forethought heel, whatever it's called. I'm not sure it gives the right fit. It just doesn't seem to hug my heel well enough. But you know, it's all down to personal preference, isn't it? So yeah, but these are super cute. What do you think? Do you like? Yeah, I used up some of, so the purple, the lilac-y purple you can see here, I used up some of the yarn I bought from Kindred Red from Amalia, and I actually made the as if tee from that yarn, and I thought I'd use up some of the leftovers for socks. And the yarn that I got for the checks and the heels are Sheep's Metropolis, and I bought that from Little Woolly. And for my other pair, this is Sheep's Metropolis, and the pink is the Lang Jarwal or Yarwal. Again, I got those from Little Woolly, and the main color in between the checks on this one is the main ridge colorway from Maximoo yarns. So yeah, I still have plenty left over, so I have plenty to do some more colorwork socks. I can mix and match the colors to make some fun combinations. Yeah, I really like them. I just need to work on the fit. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Not much has been going on in terms of normal life. It's been pretty quiet since Christmas. I think the last time you saw me was Christmas Eve when I posted my last Vlogmas. We just had a really chilled Christmas, kind of trying to take care of our health. I kind of burnt out a little bit, have been a little bit unwell. I'm fine though, you know, it's just low level stuff. So we've just really been focusing on relaxing and enjoying each other's company, and yeah, keeping to ourselves really, you know. And it's been really, really hot, like super hot. So there's really not much you can do in that heat. We had actually, my husband and I had planned to go out for lunch. We'd booked to go to the Crown Melbourne Conservatory restaurant to do the buffet. and we did that just after Christmas. And yeah, so we had a day out in the city. My husband actually hadn't been to the city in a couple of years because of COVID. Also, he works in the opposite direction of the city. He works out on the Mornington Peninsula mainly. So he hasn't actually been into town very much at all the last couple of years. So we had a really nice day in town. We walked everywhere. We went and visited our favorite art gallery. We had a painting that we need to get framed. Sorry, it's not a painting, it's a retro movie poster that my husband got a couple of years ago for his birthday. And we've been meaning to get it like framed forever. So we went to our favorite art gallery. They're going to frame it for us. We saw a few other things that we loved, and we may have come home with one of them. Yeah, I treated myself to a cute little print. It's up in my office. So I'll take a photo and I'll show you as well, but it's just the cutest little print. It's like a cat with a pink umbrella, and a little pink rain jacket with a hamster in the pocket, and it's raining fish. It's super cute. Anyway, so yeah, so we got a few things there. We had a really nice lunch at the buffet. It was super busy. We probably wouldn't go back. It's supposed to be Melbourne's best buffet. We haven't actually ever been to any other buffet in Melbourne, but of some of the ones we've been to over the world, it was okay. The best one we've had was when we were staying in a resort in Mauritius. We'd gone to Mauritius for my husband's sister's wedding, and yeah, one of the resorts we stayed at was just amazing, and their buffet, fantastic, like so much choice, crazy, amazing. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, we had a really nice lunch together. So that was really just the one big day out we did between Christmas and New Year, and the rest of the time we've just been chilling, going out for walks, did a little bit of post-Christmas shopping, that kind of thing. But yeah. Oh, and I think I may have showed you previously my medal for doing the virtual Mount Fuji challenge. So I enjoyed that, and I really wanted to set myself some new goals, like kind of fitness goals for 2022. So my husband did 2, and obviously if you achieve those goals with the virtual challenge, you get like a medal that you can go, look, I earned this. So, it's an incentive to keep going. So we actually signed up to a couple of challenges. I'm currently walking the Ring Road of Iceland. So I started that on Boxing Day, I think. And it's a 1,332.5 kilometer challenge. So I've set it so that it's my big year goal. So I've given myself a year to complete it. I'll probably complete it sooner than that, but I wanted to be realistic. And I figured that if I walk a minimum of 3 kilometers a day, minimum 3 kilometers a day, every day, then I will do that in a year. So yeah, so I'm doing that. And then partway through, I'm actually going to start another challenge as well. So I'm going to be doing the Trek to Petra, and also the Golden Triangle in India. So yeah, so just kind of little things to keep us motivated for the next year, to kind of get out and get fit and, get out of our comfort zones. So yes, so we started on that. It's going really well. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So that's life at the moment. I'm back to work tomorrow, probably still working from home for a while. COVID restrictions keep changing because of Omicron and any new strain, so we'll see what life brings us. But yeah, my main goal is to enjoy life, hopefully buy a house this year, and stay healthy. So yeah, that's it for today. I will hopefully be coming to you again soon. I won't leave it too long. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the comments. If you have any questions about anything, any suggestions about yarns I should try for these mohairs or whatever, drop me a comment and I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.